What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another edition of Not For Long Media. This is your host, Colin Thompson. I'm here with Justin Ayers, and we have an awesome guest for you this week, Adam Schefter, senior NFL insider. He needs no introduction. He's the best in the business. He breaks all the news in the NFL. He also is really interested in the NBA. He does all sports, but obviously we know him and we know his face through the NFL. So my favorite part of this interview coming up here that you'll listen after Justin and I get finished up with this, Justin, is it was truly a conversation. It was so unique for me as an interviewer to just have a conversation. And everyone tries to create the conversation. Everyone tries to have the Joe Rogan approach, but it's really on the person you're interviewing. And then how good of you are you as an interviewee? And Adam was so laid back, so gracious with his time. He just finished NFL Live. He was getting prepared for the next NFL Live segment. His wife came in and out. You'll hear that interaction, which was so much fun. And it was truly a conversation. So we were talking personal lives. We talked a little bit about his journey. We talked about his book, The Man I Never Met. Unbelievable story. Check that out. I ordered that book. It is on the way. Really excited to read that one through training camp. He's really authored, 5 different books, 11 million total followers on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. He's been covering the NFL since 1990, covered the Broncos through the Super Bowl eras there, through Super Bowl era, when they went back-to-back, I believe it was, in Denver through the 90s. He has his own podcast, went to Michigan and Northwestern, and he got to really talk about who Adam is, who he is as a man, not just who he is as a broadcaster. And that interview exclusively was brought to you by Wealth Advisory Services. Check them out, Dave and Paul, a first-class approach to managing your wealth. If you do not know them, you should. 401k, retirement, financial planning. I love bouncing ideas off of them. I love seeing things that are trending in the market or some new product that went public or et cetera, and able to just talk to them on a personal level about what do you think about this? What can we do with this? Is there an end game? Is there a future? So that's our relationship, something I really enjoy. You need someone you can trust. You need someone you can talk to and constantly communicate with. And that's Paul, Dave, and their team with over 100 years of experience at Wealth Advisory Services, located in Doylestown, Bucks County, and also Cape May, New Jersey. Check them out, wealthadvisoryservices.com, and on all of their social media outlets. All right, Justin, let's kick this thing off with this just in.
All right, I got 3 things for this just in for this week. First up, San Jose Sharks star forward Evander Kane is in some hot water after allegations made by his wife that he's a gambling addict who bet on his own games and has intentionally tried to lose games for gambling profit. Kane, of course, denies all these allegations. But if over the weekend, there's a series of Instagram stories that went public from his wife's account. There's a picture of the book, Casino Gambling for Dummies. There's another one that said, quote, how does the NHL let a compulsive gambling addict still play when he's obviously throwing games for money? Maybe somebody needs to address this. Kane, unfortunately, had to file for bankruptcy this year. In 2019, he was sued for $500,000 in gambling debts by a Vegas casino. But I think this kind of brings about a larger question about sports betting. If you turn on your TV and you watch a commercial of a sporting event, they're always brought to you by FanDuel or DraftKings. In fact, the NFL has FanDuel, DraftKings, and Caesars as their official sports betting partners. I went to the Nats game last night, and you can actually bet inside Nats Park on BetMGM. It's like their official partner that you can bet on your phone at the game. And it's just, the entire sports world is, going through a boom of sports betting. But do you think, Colin, that with this explosion in sports gambling and sports betting, that unfortunately we're going to see more stories like Evander Kane?
I don't think so. You either have the issue or you don't, right? There's more access could lead to more issues. I get that. But this is something that's widely talked about. This is something that as a player, it's a no-go zone. Right. You know the rules, what's at stake, what to do, what not to do. There's no gray area, right? It's either black or white. There's no gray. There's no in between. So yeah, I don't know what's going on here. We don't know what's going on. You talked about bankruptcy. That's what really got my mind going. And it's a great question from you is, you think it's going to bleed over? To answer your question, I don't think it's going to bleed over. I think you'll hear a little bit more about it now because it's more public. The gambling world's more public, but I'll be transparent. When I was out of the NFL and I was in New Jersey, I could legally bet on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Completely legal. Was not with a team. When I was with the Carolina Panthers and I tried to log into that app, I'm locked out of it. And I just wanted to check and see, hey, because you can't. You're not allowed. So you put in your social, you're a professional athlete, you can't bet. So I don't know. Again, he could be playing roulette. As athletes, we're allowed to gamble on casino games. I don't think in the season you can actually go into a casino legally, but because obviously sports books and people being compromised and things like that, right? That's a real thing. The integrity of the game is extremely important. So the biggest thing is we can play games. I believe you can also bet on horses. Now in college, you could gamble on horses because it was not a pro sport, but in college you couldn't gamble on anything as long as it wasn't a pro sport. So you couldn't go pro in it from a college player's perspective. You can't gamble on soccer. You can't gamble on football, basketball, hockey, whatever it is, but you can gamble on the pony. So a lot of people did that stuff. A lot of guys went to the track, for fun or whatever it was, but I'm getting off topic here, but I don't think it's going to be an issue. And then I pulled up his salary because you said he went bankrupt. He signed a 7-year, $49 million deal with the San Jose Sharks. Obviously getting crushed with the state tax out there. Shout out to Biz. Crushed with the state tax in California. So half that contract plus his agent fees plus the union dues. So he's getting hit. He signed a $12 million signing bonus, average salary of $7 million a year. He was a first-round pick before he signed this deal at 27 years old. He's now 30, so he got a bunch of money from being a first-round pick as well. So Evander's a great player. He's a fighter. He's a scrapper. He's a goal scorer. He can do a little bit of everything, and they traded for him a couple of years ago. He'll be a free agent in 2025. But, originally drafted by the Atlanta Thrashers, shout out, and then he went to Winnipeg, and then I think they traded for him. So I'm looking at his salaries here. I know we're getting off topic. He signed a contract for $9.3 million in 2009. Then he signed another contract worth $31 million from 2012 to 2017. And then he just signed this current contract from 18 to 26 for $49 million, and he's bankrupt. So obviously there's some issues there. I don't know if they will be married much longer or what's going on.
He said soon to be ex-wife, but it's really sad because his wife was talking about how they're already coming for the house and stuff. And you just listed out his salary. So there's a lot of stuff going on in the Kane house. But yeah, it's when I read this story and I saw like he's bankrupt, there's the 2019 getting sued for $500,000 by a casino. It doesn't help his credibility when he says, no, I don't gamble on stuff.
This is a prime example of why you need to work with Paul and David Wealth Advisory Services. And I'll be honest with you, and that's not even a plug. That is real. Like a lot of players that I've crossed paths with over the years, you need someone to help manage your money when you have this amount coming in, even when you don't. Just someone to ping ideas off of, learn from. I had no idea what I was doing when I started. And now, I can have legitimate conversations and I educate myself on it because you want to know what the heck's going on with your money. So Wealth Advisory Services, check them out because man, oh man, they're first class and you can't afford to lose that much money. All right. We're going to transition to Cape May Brewing Company though. Check out their website. I think it's fantastic what they do. It's extremely interactive. You can order beer, you can order clothing, you can order sweet pint glasses and etc. all for your home bar. Everyone's got the home bar now after COVID. Everyone's got their little home drinking area in the garage or out back or whatever. Cape May Brewing Company is fantastic. Speaking of out back, they created an unbelievable kind of beer garden type situation. Picnic tables, bring your dog, bring your family. It's an all open area. So you can spread out, you can hang out. They've had food trucks coming through. And again, a beer for everyone. From the bog to the tan lines, with the Corona taste to the IPAs. They have a little bit of everything. Check them out. Cape May Brewing Company. Truly, truly an awesome spot. Celebrating 10 years right off Route 9, right off the Parkway, 5 minutes from Cape May. You can't beat what they do with their product. First class approach. I always say that, but it's true. What they do. I got to know Ryan, their people there. It's a high quality product from the bar, to the boutique, to the whole area, to the brewing area. It's fantastic.
All right. Next up on this just in, last Friday was the Major League Baseball trade deadline. Some are calling it the best one ever. Numerous high-profile trades went on across the league, including my Nationals sending Max Scherzer and Trey Turner to the Los Angeles Dodgers, the Chicago Cubs shipping out their entire 2016 World Series core, it felt like, Anthony Rizzo, Chris Bryant, and Javi Baez to the Yankees, Giants, and Mets, and Colin, your Philadelphia Phillies got Kyle Gibson from the Rangers and Freddie Galvis from the O's. Here's the thing. Trades are never easy in sports. And I know this because I invest way too much of my time in them. You root for these guys. You watch them come up. They're prospects. They win a World Series if you're the Nationals and the Cubs. And then they just they trade them away for guys that are in their, like 19 years old prospects. And you have to refocus your mindset and you have to change what you think about the team. It's hard. It sucks. It's never easy. But as a sports fan yourself, like, how do you put this in perspective? Like, you're a Philadelphia Phillies fan. For years, they held on to their core and they held on a little too long. They probably could have traded them away, but they didn't do that. So, looking back, would you have rather them have traded away a Rollins, Nutley, and a Howard rather than watch them get old and stay? Or like, how do you kind of put this into perspective?
Wow. I think it's a great question and Tom McCarthy, check that out. If you guys just started listening to us, Tom McCarthy, Phillies announcer, talks about the heyday of the Phillies. And, he was on a few episodes back and talked about those great players and great teams. That's a great question, right? If you move on from Ryan Howard a couple of years earlier, he had a freak Achilles injury running out of the batter's box. I think that was the NLDS, or it could have been the World Series, but neither here nor there. I think you have to just feel the room, right? The Phillies went a little long with it, but you know what? That stadium still stayed packed. That stadium still had the juice. They still had pitching. They still found a way. Raul Ibanez played well for him, and Carlos Ruiz stepped up, and the Phillies were still a really solid outfit. But to answer your question, yes, they should have moved on from him earlier. All of them should have got traded earlier. Utley, Rollins, Howard. They got rid of Worth. That was a big deal. But Jason Worth, he just outpriced himself, right? And he was just ridiculously expensive, and the Phillies couldn't assign him. So, you have to move on. It's crazy. And honestly, my head has been in the sand here because I'm in training camp. So I literally don't even know what day of the week it is. I know today is August 1st and it's Sunday. It's Sunday, correct?
It is Sunday. And
that's no word of a lie. I mean, I just know this is our off day, and then tomorrow we go back to work. So every day's Groundhog's Day. So it's a great point. I think you got to trade. I didn't have no idea that they went to the Dodgers. Wow. Scherzer to the Dodgers?
Yeah, it breaks my heart as a Nationals fan just because we took so much pride in 2019 kicking their rear ends in the NLDS. Shout out Howie Kendrick. But it's the same thing with the Phillies. Like, would you rather hold on too long and watch them get old? And you can still wear the jersey to the ballpark that says Chase Utley, but at the end of the day, not the same guy. You probably could have traded him 3 years ago and got some prospects and make you good, and maybe not have a decade-long playoff drought. But I think the Nationals did a complete teardown. They traded 10 dudes. They traded almost all of their starting players. They traded away, their starting catcher, their starting outfielder. They traded all these dudes away. And, I'm here for it. I'd rather get all these prospects and put my faith into, the GMs and the management saying that we're going to get good players back and compete in a couple years rather than watch them lose or be 500 and just be like, well, we still got Turner. You know what I mean? So it sucks. But if you're a Cubs fan right now, I think you're still probably a little sad. Especially because they just won the World Series and you traded everybody. But it's a rough time of year for everybody, for baseball fans.
That's really tough for the Cubs. I mean, those three guys are massive brands, and they're still young. Yeah. This isn't like Rollins, Utley, and Howard and Cole Hamels, who are even Roy Halladay, RIP, he was in his mid-30s, I think he was. So time to move on. I think those guys are all around late 20s, early 30s. So they still have 4 or 5 years in their prime. Yeah, that's a shame. What about the players the Phillies got? Kyle Gibson and Ian Kennedy. Are they pretty good?
Gibson's a freaking awesome pitcher. He's they call him a cerebral pitcher, kind of like Kyle Hendricks from the Cubs. He low ERA, sinker baller. He's gonna be a stud in the rotation. You also got Freddie Galvis back, which I thought was hilarious, from the Orioles. So
bring him back, baby.
Run it back.
The Phillies fans are like, I love it. They just want all the old, bring them back. Either they're from Jersey, Pennsylvania, or Delaware area and they just want every local to play for their team, or they want, older players. I don't know if Freddie Galvis fits that mold, But like, if you brought Chase, if you told me if the Phillies signed Chase Utley at this trade deadline and he's been out of baseball for 10 years, the place would be packed tomorrow because it's the old days. Bring him back. Speaking of a place to celebrate the old days, that's Shots and Giggles in Key West, right on the corner of Ann and Green Street, right behind Sloppy Joe's, the famous Sloppy Joe's right downtown. Check them out. Shots and Giggles. Their new website's fantastic, interactive. You can check out their specials. Unbelievable drink specials, and you can hang out in their courtyard, have some drinks. It's a locals bar. It's the NFC East bar, like I always talk about. And honestly, this review, when I was looking up Shots and Giggles and checking out their stuff, and again, tell Steve and Hanya and the crew down there, the best bartenders in town, that we sent you Not For Long Media. They'd love to hear from you. But here's a review from an anonymous person. This place made us feel at home immediately, all caps. Found out it was locally owned by an awesome couple, Hanya and Steve, making us more impressed. The wine and the beer selection for such a small place was off the charts. Great location, close to the Duval and Mallory Square, yet hidden enough on Ann Street, a must stop for every visit to Key West, end quote. So I tell you a little bit about Shots and Giggles. Check them out. Stay tuned on their social media, their Facebook page. That's kind of like their website along with their website. So Shots and Giggles in Key West, Florida.
All right. Last up, this just in, training camp. Still going on. The first week of your training camp is in the books, Colin. Last week, you gave us a little primer about what you're up to. How did it go? Like, talk to me about, week one. You said you're grinding every day, waking up way too early. How's everything going?
Well, it's been a hit because I came down here with some original Fudge Kitchen, and this is a harmless plug. Obviously, they're a sponsor, but I came down here with 10 boxes of fudge. And I mean, it's been ripped through already. I mean, it's a hit, absolute hit. The Saltwater Taffy, unreal. The guys are like blown away by that. A lot of people don't really know what that is. The Jersey Shore, the kind of the Eastern Corridor folks know what that is. I'm sure people know about it across the country, and they can ship across the country, fudgekitchens.com. But I brought the fudge and I brought the Saltwater Taffy, and it got ripped through. So that's been a hit. The vanilla, the chocolate, just the basics. I didn't have time to, go through everything, but yeah, Fudge Kitchen, check them out, fudgekitchens.com. And I bring it with me everywhere. It's the best gift. It's the best during the times of camp when you're exhausted and in the end of the day and you want a little sweet treat. There's nothing better. How's camp going? It's going great. It's great to be back with the guys. It's great to be back with the team. We have a wonderful organization here, and that's just, I've been around a little bit, played for, 5 or 6 different organizations at all different levels, 7, 8 maybe at this point. And this is a pretty special place, and I'm very lucky to be a part of it. I really am. I'm going to do everything in my power to be a part of it for a very long time, as long as I can stay. I don't take one day for granted because it is that special. So we look great. We look healthy. Like I said in previous podcasts, it's a new team. We got all these draft picks, new free agents. So it's fun. Spartanburg is hot. South Carolina. We're at Wofford University here. What a beautiful place. I did not know it would be like this. So that was really cool. Came down here, beautiful dorms, awesome southern feel to campus, beautiful spot in Spartanburg School, and great place to eat. And yeah, so today's our off day. So it's great. Times up great for how we usually do our podcasts on Sundays and Mondays, and they come out Tuesday. So yeah, everything's been going well, competing, having fun. The pads go on this week. So that's when it really gets interesting. We've been no pads and, practicing helmets, and it's still, mildly physical, but obviously it gets very physical when the pads come on. And we're another week of pads. And then we have a Fan Fest Friday in Charlotte. Check that out. Panthers fans in Bank of America Stadium. And then we fly to Indianapolis to practice against the Colts for a week. And then after that, we come back here, and then we'll be practicing against the Ravens. And breaking news out of Not For Long Media. Justin Ayers will be down there, folks. This Justin will carry on from Spartanburg. Justin will be down in Spartanburg for the Ravens practices. We have a huge contingency of Ravens fans, Baltimore, DC folks. What's it, the DMV?
Yeah.
The DMV folks that are supporters of our pod. So I thought it was fitting that Justin come down and cover the event. So we're going to have interviews with players. We're going to have, live film and just some fun stuff going on. We're going to get more into that on next week's podcast of what to expect from us when it comes to, and Justin, when it comes to the Ravens and the Panthers practice, which will be here in Wofford. And really be cool to give everyone an inside look, because I know a lot of people wanted to come down. I know a lot of people were wishing it was in Baltimore, but it's not. It's going to be here in Charlotte, practice in Wofford University here, and then we'll be playing the game, the preseason game in Charlotte. So it's going to be fun, man. I know you're excited. I am too.
Yeah, it sounds like I need to pack my sunblock, my sun hat, and 1,000 cases of bottled water. It just sounds like you're practicing on the surface of the sun down there.
Yeah, it's a great spot. It's a great spot. No complaints from us, man. It's great. It's warm, that's for sure. But we practice in the morning, so it's not that bad. Last night we practiced at night, so it's not that bad. I mean, if you're practicing at 2:00 in the afternoon, yep, it's going to be hot. So, you know what though? I'm built to last though, or at least I'm trying to be, because I'm following the people at Few Will Hunt. Everybody wants to eat, but Few Will Hunt. Awesome. Again, our sponsors just have killer websites. Awesome websites. They have clothes for men, women. They have banners that hang up in your garage, your bar, your man cave, whatever you have, accessories, stickers, gift cards. Check them out. Few Will Hunt. It's a Philadelphia-based company now going international. They sponsor some UFC fighters. They're into the boxing community. They're into the training community, the CrossFit community. They literally have an action plan for you to help change your life. They have ambassador program. You can leave reviews on the website. Their blog is really cool. The daily plan of attack, I've talked about that before. Really cool what they do. So check them out. FewWillHunt.com. We are the Few. Our diverse global community is made up of real people doing real hard work for real impact. We empower each other to uncap our human potential daily. FewWillHunt.com. So yeah, this is it for us, Justin. That's about it. We got our 3 done.
Yep, all good.
Yeah, man, we're having fun. We appreciate everyone listening. It's been quite the ride. We're on to episode 24. We're moving forward. Lots of stuff to look forward to here. We have merch coming out soon and Not For Long Media, which will be fun. Check out our website. Autumn and our team do a fantastic job with the website. A lot of hours put into that. So we appreciate it. The YouTube page, we have Justin primarily runs that. That's fantastic work out of Justin and our team making that happen. It's awesome. It's really well done. We've had lots of views on some of our videos, which is really cool to look at and to see that we're growing. And then obviously check out the podcast anywhere you get podcasts, Apple Podcast, Spotify, etc. We're all over. If you can't find us, let us know. Social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, the whole 9. We're working on the TikTok. That'll be up before the Ravens practice. So we really appreciate your support. I think you guys will really enjoy this episode with Adam Schefter, an unbelievable man, father, and then the best at his job in the business. That goes without saying. Everybody knows when Adam sends out a tweet, it's for real. So Adam, cannot thank you enough for coming on. So gracious with your time. And we're going to send over to episode 4 with Adam Schefter.